Hello and welcome to the third episode of HSE News Behind the Story. This is the final episode of this podcast where we dive into some of our favorite memories and take a look back down memory lane of our time in HSE student media. But first off, this episode kind of has a theme of legacy. So when I asked the group about what their legacy is, we talked a little bit about moving the next generation forward and what it's like kind of leading up as we get older.
Having experience is very valuable, but it's not valuable if you don't use it correctly. If you have experience and you're not passing it on, then what are you doing? I think that's one of the things that I've always kind of lived by. Like if you're gonna have experience, then you got to teach someone that, and then they'll become better than you were. That's my goal, is to make people better than I am right now.
It's a super humbling thing.
Yeah.
Like when you realize that the people that you're teaching now are probably going to be better than you someday.
Exactly. Like I can see so many people that are already better than me right now, that are younger than me. Haven't been in the class as long. It's really just based on skill set too. Like what are you good at? But
would you say it's almost like scouting in a way, like scouting out the talent and trying to put it in the best place for them to succeed?
Yeah. That's part of leadership, is being able to identify what people are good at and putting them in the right position, but also teaching them things to broaden their skill set. That's one of the things that I've been able to do, God willing, over the year, is have a broad skill set of things that I'm able to do, and I think passing along any knowledge that I have to other people is very important.
Sometimes I want to be the one who goes to every single game, and I want to shoot every single little moment, so I know the pictures are going to turn out how I want them to be, just so my type A personality is okay and calm. But I realize that for the next classes to get better, they have to learn how to do it, and I have to just let my control go a little
Delegation.
bit. Yeah, I have to let other people step into the role, because if nobody let me step into the role, I wouldn't be where I am now.
On top of all the leadership that we shared in the class, it wasn't all business all the time. We had a lot of great memories between all of us. So I asked Liz, Evan, Peyton, and Kat to share some of their favorite memories from student media.
I would say my favorite memory would be my first game I shot. It was a soccer game my sophomore year, and I went with Evelyn, and getting to learn about the camera, because I didn't even know what an SD card was. I didn't even know how to put it in the camera.
That's pretty important.
It is very important, but I didn't know what it was, so she taught me a lot, and it was so fun just getting to be out on the field and being someone special and getting to talk to all the players. That was awesome, and then I really love all of our DSD days.
I was asked this question for the yearbook. It has to be the car rides.
Yeah.
It has to be the time spent with people outside of class, because you get to do things outside of class in sports broadcasting, and that tends to be the most fun that you have, in my opinion. Just because I don't know what it is. But it's
real.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but it's something that brings you together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. When you're getting in a car and driving 30, 40 minutes wherever you have to go, that's a lot of time in a confined space with people. You have to like them. Yeah. Like, whether you like it or not, you have to like those people. And being able to bond over, whether it be music or just talking about things in general, life in general, school, whatever it is. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Probably, this doesn't relate to any media or story or anything at all, but it was my 16th birthday, and for some reason my mom decided to drop off cookies with pictures of my face on them, like in the icing decorated. Yeah, and so I didn't know about it, and Mr. K showed up with the box, and he's like, all right, we're singing happy birthday, because that's what we do.
Like we do every year.
Every single time. So
3
they sang
times.
happy birthday to me, and we ate cookies with my face on it, and it was a great day, and we didn't even worry about yearbook, and we just enjoyed the moment with everyone there.
The friends I made.
Yeah.
What I got to learn, the fact that I got to make a family when I didn't think I could. I had moved here, I was new, I didn't know anybody, And I got this great family that I could just trust, and I knew that no matter how badly I messed up or how dull I sounded, they would always be there.
If you stick around with anything long enough, you're going to learn something. And we can say that we learned quite a bit here in our time in student media. And Luke talked a little bit about what he learned in his time in HSE pubs.
I think I've learned really how to push myself. I can't think of any other time as a student where you can have, so many different aspects of something just pressing on you at the same time, and you just know you have to have a clear head and just make your way through it somehow. And I think, doing that for a couple of years has just taught me so much about, controlling your thoughts and delegating and teamwork and everything like that. And, I've just learned how to preserve quality without, getting caught up by the rush and the overwhelming of things.
Through reflection, I think we all realized that we actually did make a pretty big impact on this school. We did make a pretty big impact on student publications. So I asked Luke, Evan, and Peyton what impact we made on student publications and what's the end of that going to be like.
Yeah, I've been kind of dreading, the last day in high school because it will be a weird thing.
It's a bittersweet thing.
Yeah, it's your time to go and do bigger things, but it's been a long journey. I know you've taken the exact same one. And, it will be different not reporting on the same people, because in our class we have so many talented people who we've been interviewing and doing profiles on for years. It's going to be completely changed of scenery after this, but I know the last day in pubs will be a very sentimental one.
Well, I think it's probably one of the most valuable classes that we've had, in my opinion. The class of 2020 was very valuable as well as the class of 2019. They've all been valuable, because without the class of 2018, 2019, whatever it was, we wouldn't even have SSN.
Yeah.
But I think this class is going to leave an impact for sure on all HSE publications, like every other class has done. I think every senior class has their own unique impact, but I don't know if we have one that's completely targeted, if that makes sense. If we have because we have people in yearbook, we have people in newscast, we have people in or mass media, we have people in Orb, we have people in SSN, and they're all valuable in their own ways. We all have our skill sets of what we're good at and what we're not good at. But I think we have been able to, pass along our experience, I guess.
I feel like this class, being in the year it was, with all the people it had and all the potential, was the year COVID needed to happen, if that makes sense. Because the way we kind of started the whole Converge newsroom this year, the way I worked with Evan and worked with you and worked with Luke, even though we're all kind of separated now, even worked with like Delaney and other people in SSN, it all comes together in a way that we couldn't have done years past, which is really helpful and beneficial to us.
I think it helps that we're all friends.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't, all of us together, everyone that I'm interviewing here, I mean, we're all genuine friends together.
Other. Yeah.
And I think we all understand what each other brings to the table. I think we all have different skill sets.
Very.
We all have different personalities, and I think they all blend together in a way that works.
Somehow, yes. I hope next year can continue what we've kind of started with that. I know it's going to be rough, but I feel like there's a really good outline for how to work together between all of the different medias.
It's hard to be a journalist. It really is. It's hard to be something where the casual people don't realize the work you put into it. People that constantly criticize you for working in the media and spreading false information, when honestly, you're trying to do your best and spread the truth. But at the same time, it's rewarding. So I asked some of us exactly what their advice is for the future of journalism and what people should do if they're considering joining journalism in the future?
Hopefully better, because a lot of it is biased. So I hope that eventually it won't be as biased and that we can trust our media, and that people won't be like, it's fake news. I hope that won't be even a word that is used in the future. Don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. You're gonna be, but try your best not to be, because eventually as you get more experience, you're gonna love it. Because I definitely at first was terrified, but as you keep going, it's gonna be something that they're gonna love being a part of.
I think just being fearless. Like, I think a lot of people, especially in high school, get caught up in the whole, being a journalist isn't that cool. like the nobody reads the orb trope.
Yeah.
But I think it's about like doing exactly what you want. If you think it's cool to talk to people and understand their perspectives on things, go and do it. Like,
It's telling the stories that you want to tell.
exactly. And what a lot of people will realize is, like, once you're telling those stories, it's not as weird or like uncool as people wanted you to believe originally. Like, people really respect somebody who is willing to follow their passion. And I think that's what all of us are doing. Like, we're just kind of following what we want to do. And that's what I kind of would tell somebody who was just joining, is like, go talk to somebody in the hallway. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
They're going to say no.
They can say, sorry, I don't want to be interviewed.
I would say start digitally. I would say the digital world is expanding, and it's always been expanding, and it will keep expanding. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, whether it be videos, social media, whatever it is. People are consuming more and more content via video, like more than they were print newspapers, even just 2-3 years ago, because people's attention spans are short. People are hungry for short clips of stuff rather than long articles. So I would say pick up a camera, whether it be for pictures or for video, and just learn. I mean, you don't have to be good at it by any stretch of the imagination now, but that's what these classes are for. They make you better, and you learn a lot out of these classes.
I don't know if you know this, but actually I'm not going into media at all anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm doing pre-law for constitutional lawyer.
Okay.
So forever I've wanted to do media, like I said before. But after I think I decided November of this year, with the whole election going on and how media covered it, I just couldn't trust myself there, because so many people, so many reporters and journalists aren't picked because of their writing or their facts or how they cover things, but just because of the narrative they have and how it goes. So I'm honestly quite scared for where it's going, and how many people just read the first tweet that comes up and don't look into anything. But I really wish I could do that, but I just don't.
And maybe you're
see
not
where it's
completely
going.
out of it yet.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
I would say that pre-law can absolutely lead to journalism someday, in the fact that legal journalism is
a big deal.
something
That's kind of where I got inspiration for it from. I was like, because I was at the DC convention, and I went to a whole law-based journalism program. And they talked about how important it is, and how all the copyright and everything, and how big it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I think there's a future there.
Future of journalism. It's us. I think that we're the future of journalism. We are the ones who handled COVID. We're the ones who got to talk about these events. We've handled all these things that most people don't want to talk about. We're the future of journalism. And God, I can't wait for that future.
I hope throughout this podcast you've gotten to see how much we truly do love each other. Even the people that aren't on the podcast, that have just been acquaintances and haven't necessarily been there as long, they still make HSE News what it is. And it's a special group. And if the waterworks haven't already started for you, it's a quote from Catford, we'll definitely get them started for you.
Oh my gosh. You're really gonna make me cry. I love them. I truly do, even if they don't know that. Because I know I'm a rough exterior. I can be intimidating, sometimes scary, but truly when you get to know me, I'm a golden retriever.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They mean everything to me. I wouldn't be where I am without them. They're my best friends, and they're my family, and I love them to death. I only want good things for them. Even when they do stuff to get me mad, they're like, I can't stay mad at them.
They're like a puppy dog.
They really are.
Another thing I hope you've gotten from this podcast is just to know all the people that you see behind the stories at HSE. So, where are they going to go in the future? Where do we go after we leave the walls of HSE? I asked them.
So I'm going to be attending the University of Cincinnati. And I will be hopefully majoring in journalism, but my plan right now is to start with a journalism major, kind of take those intro classes, and then figure out kind of what my specific avenue will be. Because I'm interested in so many aspects of it, the writing aspect, the design, potentially even something on TV. Like, I think one of my my ideal for a career path would be to be a news gatherer for whatever source. So just be the one who actually does the digging to
The
find
one who's out
information.
there.
Exactly. The one in the field, like the one, really talking to people, which is, I think, my strong suit.
Nothing journalism related, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I love this, pubs and everything,
Yeah.
but it was never really going to be something I continued on in college. I plan to be a dermatologist.
Really? Okay, there we go.
Yep.
There we go. All right. We somebody that's much smarter than me. We figured it out.
I'm going to Ball State, as well as you.
Yeah.
I'm going there hopefully for digital sports production. Yeah, I'm going there. I've already, started talking to some people that are going there next year. I'm super excited to get there and meet new people and
Cover the action.
Yeah, cover some action.
Right now, definitely pre-law.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bunch of colleges I'm in. Either Wake Forest or IU are the top two
Gotcha.
right now. Maybe a lawyer one day. That'd be cool. Go to law school
There we
after.
go.
Maybe go back to media, do something with legal media. Something fun, something crazy.
Hoosier State,
you
yeah.
know?
Hey, I wouldn't expect anything less.
My plans after graduation, to party like a rock star.
Oh, that's a great answer.
I am going to work over the summer, and I'm going to go to Ball State.
Hey,
Go Cardinals.
there we go. Chirp,
there
chirp.
we go. Chirp, chirp. I'm going to double major in either in pre-law studies and communications, with a focus in journalism, and a minor in international relations, and hopefully change the world.
Yes, we are, Kat. We all are going to change the world. Thank you for coming along on the journey of this podcast. I really hope you've enjoyed it. For HSE News, this has been Tristan Fluhr. HSE News Behind the Story is a product of Hamilton Southeastern High School Student Media. Couldn't be possible without our advisors, Jordan Klobusnik and David Young, and we want to thank Evan Miller, Liz Moodispaugh, Luke Bisesi, Kat Collins, and Peyton McVeigh for their interviews to make this story possible. Thank you, and enjoy.